Homeless boy dragged a biker's pregnant wife out of a burning car. What the Hells Angels did next shocked everyone. The Riverside night was cold, colder than most. Rain drizzled from a bruised sky, soaking the cracked sidewalks where 14-year-old Marcus Chun huddled beneath a torn tarp near an abandoned gas station. His stomach growled, his shoes were split at the toes, and hope? Hope felt like a fairy tale told to kids who still had beds to sleep in. But fate doesn't always knock, it crashes. A screech of metal tore through the silence. Down the road, headlights swerved wildly before slamming into a telephone pole. Flames licked the hood instantly, spreading fast. Most people would have frozen, but Marcus, he ran. Inside the crumpled sedan, a woman groaned, pregnant, trapped, her face streaked with blood and fear. The fire crept closer. Without thinking, Marcus yanked the door open, ignoring the searing heat on his arms, and pulled her free just as the car erupted behind them in a deafening explosion. Her name was Sophia, and she wasn't just any woman. She was the wife of Jax Reaper Malone, president of the Hells Angels Riverside chapter. When Jax arrived minutes later, his leather vest soaked with rain and rage, he expected to find his wife dead. Instead, he found her alive, cradled by a shivering barefoot boy with eyes too old for his face. "Who are you?" Jax demanded, voice rough as gravel. Marcus just whispered, "I didn't know her. I just couldn't leave her." That moment rewrote everything. The next day, against all odds, Jax showed up at the spot where Marcus slept, not with threats, but with a duffel bag full of clothes, a warm meal, and words that cracked the boy's hardened shell. "You're coming home with us." At first, Marcus didn't trust it. Men on motorcycles with skulls on their jackets? This wasn't kindness, it was a trap. But the Hells Angels surprised him. They gave him a room, a bed with clean sheets, hot showers, and something even rarer, respect. Jax sat with him one night, whiskey in hand, scars on his knuckles, and said, "I was you once, sleeping under bridges, stealing bread to survive. An angel took me in. Now it's my turn." Slowly, Marcus began to heal. He enrolled in school, made friends, laughed, really laughed for the first time in years. Sophia treated him like a son, stitching his school uniform when it tore, cheering at his math awards. And when she placed a hand on her growing belly and smiled at him, saying, "Emma's gonna have the best big brother," Marcus finally let himself believe he belonged. But peace never lasts long in stories like this. One evening, detectives arrived. Sophia's crash? No accident. Someone cut her brake lines. Deliberate, malicious. The Hells Angels went silent. Then they moved like thunder. Within days, the rival gang, the Iron Reapers, paid dearly, but the real threat was closer than anyone knew. Marcus started noticing a man in a dark coat watching him outside school, following him, smiling in a way that made his skin crawl. When he told Jax, the club sprang into action, surveillance, patrols, then a name, Vincent Cross. Jax paled. "He's dead," he muttered. "I watched them bury him." But Vincent wasn't dead. He was Jax's biological father, a violent, manipulative monster who'd beaten him as a child, drove his mother to suicide, and vanished years ago. Now he was back, and targeting Marcus to break Jax's heart the way he'd broken everything. Fear returned, but so did something stronger: family. In a quiet courthouse 2 weeks later, with Sophia glowing in her third trimester and Jax standing tall beside him, Marcus signed papers that changed his name forever. Marcus Malone. Legally adopted. Finally, truly wanted. Days later, baby Emma was born. Tiny fingers, soft cries, and eyes that already seemed to know Marcus was hers to love. That night, Marcus stood on the porch of the house that now bore his name, watching stars blink awake above the California hills. He thought of the cold pavement, the hunger, the loneliness, and then he thought of Sophia's laugh, Jax's proud nod, Emma's sleepy smile. He'd saved a stranger that night, but in saving her, he'd saved himself. And though shadows still lurked, Vincent out there somewhere plotting revenge, Marcus wasn't afraid anymore, because this time he wasn't alone. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to ACA Story Tales. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope, healing, and second chances to millions around the world. Drop a comment below, tell us where you're watching from, and if you believe one act of kindness can change a life forever. Thanks for watching.